The New Haven Health Department and the city's COVID-19 task force says Anthony's Ocean View was warned 3 times over the last 2 months about the same alleged violations that got them shut down on Friday night. Several videos sent anonymously to city officials early Friday show a massive party with no social distancing and very little mask wearing, which was the final straw for the city.
We have asked Anthony's Ocean View to provide a list of employees that have worked in the last 2 weeks, as well as a list of attendees of any of the events that they have held in the last 2 weeks.
This request because the city has been told employees may have tested positive. Anthony's Ocean View, which has until Wednesday to appeal the order, did not respond to Fox 61's request for comment.
I've been talking about wanting to get married here for years.
After a couple of COVID-related wedding postponements, Aaron and Anthony Flannery decided they would just get married, then hold their reception at Anthony's Ocean View next May. But now?
Because if they're not taking consideration into those guests and their workers and them, like, how do we know that place is clean and they take all the precautions?
Nearly 24 Quinnipiac University students who attended the Thursday night party have been sent home for the rest of the semester.
Universities have been able to identify some of their college students. I know Southern Connecticut State University has requested the videos. They have the videos. They're under review.
If Anthony's Ocean View fails to comply with the corrective measures set forth, then the city's health director says she will refer them to the state's attorney's office for criminal prosecution. In New Haven, Tony Terzi, Fox 61 News.